Welcome back, viewers and subscribers. It's your girl, Star Flames, and we're back with another video. A rather new turn has taken with Kanye West because he made a post on social media that is currently trending. Now, this post is something that is a bit heavy, I must admit, and I can see good and bad in him putting out something out there like this. Now, he basically said that he had a incestuous relationship with his male cousin, which he believes was triggered by dirty magazines. And he spoke about the magazines from his mom drawer or closet rather. He said that they were different. And because of that, he basically started giving his cousin oral up to the age of 14. He basically said that, he did a song that is titled Cousins, which is about his cousin that is locked in jail for the rest of his life for deleting a pregnant lady a few years after he told him we wouldn't look at dirty magazines together anymore. Now, these things, it's rather unfortunate, but they do happen. And in all honesty, they happen even more than how you and I can even begin to imagine that they happen. Now, while these things do in fact happen, I would have liked, for you not to put this out on the internet, and while I understand that maybe this is something he needed to say out, I would have hoped that he would set this in a more professional setting for the sake of his children and for the sake of whenever he's good, he is very sensitive about these things. Now, let me read to you guys specifically what he posted. He says, and I quote, "This song is called Cousins, about my cousin that's locked in jail for life for killing a pregnant lady a few years after I told him we wouldn't look at dirty magazines together anymore. Perhaps in my self-centered mess, I felt it was my fault that I showed him those dirty magazines when he was 6, and then we acted out what we saw. My dad had Playboy magazines, but the magazines I found in the top of my mom's closet were different now." He says, "My name is Ye, my cousin Dick, till I was 14. That was his post that he made that is currently going viral. So, everyone on social media, they're joining in this discussion. Many people tend to get the impression that he's pointing fingers at his mom, like, why blame the black woman? He's not pointing fingers at his mom. He's basically letting us know that parents do have these magazines, and he gained access to those magazines, and he saw things in those magazines, and the one that was in his mom's closet, it was different from what was in his dad's closet, because he was saying, in his dad's closet, they were just Playboy magazines, and he's basically saying in his mom's closet, those were more hardcore. And he basically acted out on his cousin, based on those things until he was 4 and, until he was 14, sorry. So I get a sense of what he's talking about, but at the same time, I would hope that Ye not say these things on the internet. And people want to believe that Ye is good. He's well. Absolutely nothing is wrong with him. And I understand why people would say that, because you really can't blame people if they themselves are in a manic episode just like Ye and is in complete denial about it. Secondly, not everyone has experienced firsthand what it is for an individual to be in manic episode. They don't understand what it is like. They don't understand that it may appear normal, but if you take a second and look at what is being said, who is saying it, and how sensitive the individual is normally about these things, you would know that something is off. This person seems to be a bit off the rails, because you guys know that over the years, Ye has been very sensitive about anything concerning the LGBTQIA community. So to see him coming on the internet saying that he loves trans kitty cat and he longs for trans kitty cat. And these are posts that are on his Twitter page, was shared on Twitter from his own page, even though a lot of his fans who are in manic as him, are in denial about it, because if you're in denial about something that he posted from his own account, and if you're going to say that he didn't post that on his account, wherein the world can actually validate that he literally posted it from his account, and if you're going to say the media did that, it means that you're in manic episode as him. And that's not even a denial at this point in time, right? No. Ye coming up with these things, they're only going to cause him harm on an emotional and mental level at a later date. And I did say to you guys that what he has been posting for the past couple of weeks is nothing in comparison to what he's about to post, providing that he doesn't get the help that he needs. So now we have people on the internet, they're asking for the prayer line to be open for Ye. People are saying that he needs extensive treatment. People are saying that, last week he said that his mama was a stud, and this week he's now talking about incest. And then they're saying, I can only imagine what he's going to be doing next week. And this is what bipolar manic episode looks like. It has you saying things that you would not normally see. It has you doing things that you would not normally do. Now, should anyone be shaming Kanye for saying this? Absolutely not. Whether what he's saying is true, half true, completely false, because there are people who believe that he's just saying this for shock value. He's going to just do anything to stay relevant. I do believe him. I do believe what he's saying here. And I don't think that it is anything that anyone should use against him and try to humiliate him or ridicule him or anything like that. He said that he stopped at the age of 14. Many people would say that, oh, but he should have some idea of what he was doing. Kids are normally like that, and it happens. It definitely happens, because these things, it's not the first, it's not the first we're hearing of these things. And many people talk about these things on podcasts or other professional settings, their books and all of that, about these things, about people sharing these experiences. Also, there's one thing we know is that whenever a child starts experimenting so heavily that early, it also leads to other psychological damages down the line. So Ye is saying that, he often feels guilty because he's wondering if his actions has led to his cousin deleting that pregnant girl. Now, I don't know. I really don't know what to say about that, because, there's a possibility that something started there, or it could be that his actions had absolutely nothing to do with what his cousin did. As such, I'm really not gonna judge him, but I'm gonna say that I really do hope that he gets the help that he needs. I really do hope that someone comes to his rescue. And I do hope that if he has anything else that he wants to offload or, unload, he would do so in a private setting for the sake of his kids. Because it is okay to talk about these things, but I do believe that it should be done in a safe and controlled environment because the internet is a very brutal space. And children are innocent, but not everyone sees kids as being innocent. And as such, they may just want to, use this against his kids at a later date. I'm hoping that no one would do this, but you never know what people will do, right? So I would hope that he just moves on, gets some help, and not put these things out there about his mom, about the past things that he has done, and how they might have affect someone. I hope that he would basically let that individual knows how he feels. And I believe that when he does this in a controlled professional setting, then they would help him to channel those feelings and to let him know that, it's not your doing that led to this person committing a crime because at the end of the day, while what you did was not right, that individual, you know, made a decision to do something like that. So I would hope that you get the help that you need. But guys, I'm going to tell you this. If things do not change, if you does not get help, it's not going to get any better. It's going to keep being outrageous, even more outrageous than before. God forbid. But anywho, I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what's your take. While you're at it, thumbs up, share, subscribe, and we're going to talk some more in the comment section. Peace.